Well, hello there, it's been forever. I've forgotten what you looked like. Welcome, everybody, as after 3 weeks, we are finally back for Pizza Hut X Series Racing in the Season 5 Pizza Hut X Series Chase for the championship. Getting ready for race number 2 of round 2 on the road towards the Final Four. It's the midway point of this round. Last week, we saw the race, or I'm sorry, 3 weeks ago I should say, we saw the race at Talladega Superspeedway, won by a non-chaser, Matt McIntyre, but it certainly has given us a very interesting scenario coming into this race. Look on the right side of your screen, you can see what the point standings look like coming into this race, and 2 drivers in particular really need a good run here today at Texas, those being Juan Garcia and Eli Bright, a couple of teammates out of Srigley Motorsports. Eli Bright, who looked like the strongest car in round 1, now finds himself in the cellar of the remaining 8 drivers compete for this championship. You look up at the top of the leaderboard, Zach Flickinger has the points lead, 4 points over Diego Yepes, and both those drivers have roughly between a 9 to 13 point advantage between themselves and the driver that right now is below the cut line, Elijah Gilbert, only 2 points out of the cut line. That's where 4th place Phil Parker is sitting. So it's still really, really close, especially amongst the top 6 that are only separated by 19 points. And remember, it's the win and you're in situation. If any of our 8 remaining competitors go to victory lane here today at Texas, they are automatically given a guaranteed golden ticket trip to the Final Four at Homestead Miami Speedway. But remember, there's 34 other drivers in this field that want to go to victory lane. Daniel Olson lines up on the pole position in the number 32. Alongside of him, Brooke Allen, the former Hershey's Cup Series champ, still looking for her first win of the season. For Daniel Olson, he is looking for his first as well. And so we'll see if that track position puts him in good stead. Let's get that command.
Drivers, start your engines.
Matter of fact, you got a number of drivers back there looking for their first. Cole Deaver, he's lining up 3rd. J Sandfer 4th. Ryan George 5th. Wyatt Quayle 6th. A lot of drivers want a 1 in the win column here. And they've got good starting track position for today's race. We're not going to give you your point standings because it's over there on the right side of your screen. So we're not even going to bother with that. Highest starting playoff driver, I believe, is going to be the driver we focused on the most here during pre-race, and that's Eli Bright, who comes into this race 8th in the point standings, 17 points behind the cut line, and he's starting from, it's like 11th. Actually, Elijah Gilbert's the highest starter in 10th outside of row 5, and I believe the next highest is J Shelly rolling off. Looks like that's inside of row 8. In the 15th position. This is a new track. This is Texas Spring 2017. A lot wider. You can see the higher grooves there. So we'll see how anxious these drivers are to go 3, maybe 4 wide here at Texas. It's roomy enough to do that, but I don't know if they're going to. Never tried this track before, but looking forward to a good race at the D-shaped 1.5-mile Texas Motor Speedway as we get ready to set up what could be the battle for the Final Four next week at Rockingham, North Carolina. Let's go racing in the Lone Star State. Green flags in the air. Let's roll. Daniel Olson immediately to the lead. Cole Deaver trying to take 2nd. You're going to see as these tires begin to warm up, that outside line will probably start coming into play. Brooke Allen trying to hang on that outside line to 2nd place. Going to have to give it up here out of turn 4, though. Deaver gets the spot. Here comes Ryan George with teammate N Guenther. Kev Shear Racing Tech teammates down on the bottom. Watch out for that 0-2 of Eli Bright. So far this season, we've had 17 races, 14 different race winners. Only driver that's won multiple races, Eli Bright. He has 3 of them, as Guenther will go 3 wide for 2nd. There's Bright in the 0-2. Shelly and Gilbert, teammates out of Backmarker Motorsports on the inside, trying to work their way up to the top 10. This all going on behind Daniel Olson. They're 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Guenther's going to clear that mayhem. He'll move to 2nd. Bright now trying to move to 3rd place. Oh, Shelly got spun around off the nose of Brooke Allen. And he kept it going, but they're still wrecking. J Sandfer, G Sydnor, more involved. Playoff contender Diego Yepes was in it. Heather Gallant, Erickson. Joshua Hyatt's involved. Patrick Curtis, Jake Rogers, on to Baranauskas. Olson's going to lead them back to the caution. First caution of the day. How did Shelly get that car turned back around? They were, I think, 4 wide off turn 2. I think that's why they wrecked. And Daniel Olson will lead us under our first yellow flag. It came out on lap 3. The leader just completed lap 3. We're on to lap 4. And they're coming to pit road, so they couldn't make it the 34 scheduled laps. This will be interesting. Zach Flickinger came in the points leader of the playoff standings. He's on pit lane. So another playoff contender was involved. We know Diego Yepes got a piece. He was second in the playoff points. And this is going to blow the point standings wide open heading into Rockingham. Wow. Nobody stayed out. There's the 19 on pit road. A lot of damage on the 48 of Curtis. Brooke Allen, I think, got a piece. Baranauskas. Carter Friesen was in it. Rob Evans was in it. Nathan Hudson was in it. Looking there at the 31 of Phil Parker, came in 4th in the standings, the cut line driver. Can't see really any damage on his 31. J Sandfer and G Sydnor, they were in it. Wyatt Quayle's got left side damage. There were a lot of drivers involved in this one. Looks like K Batson might have made it through, one of our playoff contenders. Same for Juan Garcia. There's Shelly. The incident started with him, but he drove away from it. And it looks like Eli Bright's team got it done on pit road. He's going to come out second behind Daniel Olson for the restart. Let's go back and see what happened off turn 2. First caution of the day at Texas. Yeah, I thought it was 4 wide off the corner, and that's exactly what the case was there. Brooke Allen's going to make it 4 wide, putting Deaver on the outside, Sydnor in the middle, and Shelly down in the bottom. And there's the contact between the 3 and the 24. Sends Sydnor down into Shelly's passenger side door. Now watch the 71 with this save. His teammate Elijah Gilbert's into the back of him. I think there's going to be a little bit of contact right there with the right front of the 71. And that's going to actually turn Shelly back around. And his teammate Charles Jackson gave him room to save it as well. But there you see, there's J Sandfer getting involved. Carson Gum got a piece of it there in the 99. And they just started stacking up further back there. That was Joshua Hyatt into the back of Heather Gallant. Rob Evans flies in. Carter Friesen, Nathan Hudson, Wyatt Quayle, Baranauskas. There's Jessica Miles, Chloe Erickson. There's where Flickinger got involved. He ran right into the back of Rob Evans. There's Curtis. And I'm pretty certain the 19 did get a piece of it there. He's also going to slide up and almost wreck last time out's winner, Matt McIntyre. Let's see how much damage the 19 got. Oh, wait a minute. He might have gotten through. Let's watch the 19 of Yepes. Zach Flickinger just up to his high side there, the yellow car. There he is in the back of Jessica Miles. That shot Miles actually down into Yepes. She might have gotten him just in front of the right rear tire, but I don't think Yepes got much damage from that. So he might have just skimmed his way through as well. So it looks like really only one of our playoff contenders got any damage out of that wreck, and that was the guy who came in the points leader of the Elite 8, the 96 of Zach Flickinger. 1 to green signal has been given. We'll go back racing on lap 8 of 34. Chloe Erickson will line up on the inside 1 lap down as out of the race. Number of drivers actually, including Nathan Hudson, who just now retired, Heather Gallant, Patrick Curtis, Carter Friesen, Joshua Hyatt, Jessica Miles, Jake Rogers. They're all out, and 41st is where the guy that came in P1 of our 8 playoff contenders, Zach Flickinger, will finish. So not the Texas he was looking for. He could find himself below the cut line heading into Rockingham next week. So Daniel Olson restarts the leader. Eli Bright, highest running chaser right now in second. This is the run he needs after the hardships he had at Talladega. N Guenther currently rides in third. 4th place is Elijah Gilbert. Then it's Charles Jackson 5th. 6th is Kyle Langeland. 7th place is going to be Cole Deaver. 8th is Andrew Gonzalez. 9th, Ryan George. And Mark Davidson completes the top 10. Let's find out where the rest of our playoff contenders are. J Shelly restarts in 12th. Juan Garcia in 13th. K Batson in 15th. Phil Parker back in 21st. And I believe that's it. I believe that's it of our competitors. that are still running on the track. Oh, Diego Yepes, where did he restart? 25th. Green flag back in the air. Looks like they're going to make very quick work of the 46 of Ericsson. Guenther on the charge, looking for second place off of Eli Bright. Charles Jackson going to go to the inside of his teammate Elijah Gilbert. Maybe kill two birds with one stone. Maybe go from 5th to 3rd. How about maybe to 2nd, as he's going to get to the inside of Guenther through turns 3 and 4. Jackson last year was in the playoffs. This year, still looking for his first win of the season. Opened the door. His teammate Elijah Gilbert follows him. He'll move into 3rd, or will he? Guenther going to battle back on the top side. Now here comes K Deaver, making it 3 wide for 3rd place. Almost clipped the left rear quarter panel of the 66 off turn 2. Gilbert, former champion back in season 2 of the Pizza Hut X Series. Trying to be a 2-time champion. Just back behind them, you've got J Shelly trying to crack the top 10. Quentin Moore in that 10th position right now. Is Shelly trying to get back there after maybe one of the most amazing saves I've ever seen here at Texas? That car should have been wrecked. By all rights and purposes, that car should have been wrecked and in the garage area right now. And somehow, just a slight bit of contact with G Sydnor got him pointed the right way, and really no damage, as we, I believe, are under caution. We are. Second caution of the day here at Texas. And Charles Jackson got around Daniel Olson just before that yellow flag came out. So new race leader, the 78 out of Backmarker Motorsports, smoke all over the back straightaway and into turn 3. Looks like we had another big wreck. Oh, and I'm starting to see some gray smoke, which means there are some drivers that took some hard hits. And it includes last time out's winner, Matt McIntyre. Rob Evans, our winner from somewhere. Was it from the first? Or from Atlanta? It was from Atlanta, I think. Yeah. For some reason, I just had a little bit of a brain fart thinking we had been to Texas already, but it was actually, no, it was Atlanta I'm thinking of. Looks like those are the only 2 cars. Oh, there's rookie J Sandfer coming to pit road, so I guess she got involved as well. H Navarro's back here. I don't know if he got a piece of the wreck or not. Looked like more sets of skid marks than just 3 cars, but maybe. Who knows? If so, they made a lot of smoke. Let's see what brought out this second caution of the day. This is coming off turn number 2, and looks like they tried 4 wide again. That's G Sydnor in the 24. Second time he's been in a 4 wide situation off turn 2. Angel Navarro, Mason Wood, and Chaser K Batson was in that 4 wide as well. And I don't know how much damage she got, the 22. Matt McIntyre right there is going to make some contact with Navarro. That sends him down into the 62 of Wyatt Quail. Nice avoidance by Diego Yepes. Oh, and then Wyatt Quail comes back up the track. And that's where he collects the 70 of J Sandfer. They both go up and hit the wall. Baranauskas and Brooke Allen, Austin LaPlante, they're going to slip their way through. Oh, we had Rob Evans back there. Oh, and also Chloe Erickson, the lap machine. How did they get involved? Let's look and see. Oh, right there. 9 car of McIntyre sliding back up the track. Nowhere for Evans to go. Evans is going to hit the wall, and I'm not sure which one of these two is going to clip the 46. Oh, right there. Oh, just got her in the left front. I don't really think she made a lot of contact, though, but she did make a lot of contact with the safer barrier after the 9 spun her around. And so a bad day goes worse for Chloe Erickson. Matt McIntyre, after sitting in victory lane 3 weeks ago, will find himself on the end of a hook, along with Rob Evans, and J Sandfer has been involved in our 2 cautions so far today as well. Haven't gotten the 1 to green signal yet. We should probably get it this next time by, which I think will mean we'll be going back green with a total of 20 laps remaining. Charles Jackson got around Daniel Olson just before that caution came out, so he'll be restarting as the leader over the 32. K Deaver lines up in the 3rd position. Top 3 still looking for their first win of the season. I believe Olson's looking for the first win of his career in Pizza X Series competition. Take a look at our playoff drivers. 3 of them right now inside of the top 10. You've got Eli Bright in 5th, Elijah Gilbert in 6th, and James Shelly in 10th. And all of those drivers came into this race outside of the cut line. Gilbert was 5th. He was 2 points out. Shelly was 6th. He was 8 points out. And Eli Bright was 17 points out in 8th. So we'll have to see if they can keep these good runs up where it will situate them heading into Rockingham. But what about the other 5 competitors? We know one of them's out of the race, so basically how about the other 4 running competitors? Where are they restarting? Juan Garcia is going to be 13th for the restart. Phil Parker has now worked his way up to 17th. K Batson, we saw her get some contact from that wreck. We'll have to see if she's up to speed. Restarts in 23rd. Diego Yepes will restart in 24th place. And right now, the driver that finds himself in a bit of a pickle heading into next week. You look down at 41st, Zach Flickinger out of the race after the first wreck. Drivers out of the race after that second wreck include Wyatt Quayle, Matt McIntyre, and Rob Evans. So we now have 31 cars on the racetrack, 30 on the lead lap. Chloe Erickson lines up on the inside line yet again for this restart. 20 laps to go. Jackson gets us back underway at Texas. Olson jumped up to the high side, almost got to the right rear quarter panel of Jackson. He was testing the waters of that outside line early. It's going to cost him here, though, as Cole Deaver's going to move to second, maybe to the lead if he can keep it down there and get to the left rear of the 78. Looks like he might do that off turn 4. And watch out for that 0, 2, 66, and 71. They're all in the top 10. Remember, if they win, they're into the next round. Oh, Juan Garcia as well in the 95 just cracked the top 10, so watch out for him. 3 wide off turn 2 for the lead. Rookie N Guenther holding no prisoners. Not quite going to be able to get there. Deaver and Jackson will remain side by side for the race lead. Guenther slots into 3rd place for the moment. Deaver's last win, if I recall correctly, back in Season 3 of the Pizza Hut X Series. And if I recall correctly, I think that's the only win he's got in his Pizza Hut X Series career. Wow, that car slid up the track there. I don't know if his car got tight or if he was going up there to block the 78. Whatever the case, that car did not stay on the bottom of the racetrack. N Guenther now. Rear decklet full of Elijah Gilbert, and here comes that 95 of Juan Garcia, our winner from Richmond. He wants to be a rookie representation in the Final 4 at Homestead, and he's going to try and get to the inside of Elijah Gilbert. They almost thought about a 4-wide formation off turn 2, and our last 2 cautions have resulted in that very thing occurring. Cole Deaver to the race lead. And sometimes, you know, as a commentator, you like to sow some seeds. Well, last week we saw at Line Rock in the Hershey's Cup Series race, Chris Dodd go to victory lane, leaving Chris Dollerton, the last driver for CJ Racing, to go to victory lane. Well, tomorrow's Hershey's Cup Series race taking place here at Texas is Chris Dollerton's home track. So just add a little bit more fuel to that conspiracy fire, why don't we? Juan Garcia now for second. He's going to get the spot, it looks like. Daniel Olson following in his tire tracks. And now Juan Garcia sets his sights on Cole Deaver. Garcia came into this race 7th of the 8 championship drivers, 15 points behind the cut line. If he wins today, doesn't matter how far back he was, he could be 100 points behind the cut line and still be representing in the chase for the championship. Final 4 at the line, coming to the caution. Deaver's going to hang on. Wow, I saw the lights were on pit road. I knew the caution was out. And I didn't expect that Juan Garcia was going to make it so close coming to that yellow flag with Deaver, but Deaver was able to manage to hang on. Not only that, he denied Juan Garcia a bonus point for leading a lap there. Another incident on the back straightaway. Did they try 4 wide off turn 2 again? And another of the ML Motorsports cars involved, this time Alex Gray in the 0, and possibly a playoff contender in Phil Parker. who came into this race the cut line driver, 4th in the standings. I don't see any damage really on that car, but he's obviously lost a ton of track position as he just crossed the line in the 29th spot. Caution out for the 3rd time today. We'll restart with less than 10 to go. Let's go back and see what brought out the 3rd yellow of the day. Did someone say 4 wide off turn 2? 3rd time they've tried it, 3rd time they've failed. Well, then again, no, it wasn't 4 wide. I thought that was at 4 wide there. It was actually further up, a 3 wide between LaPlante, Mason Wood, and Phil Parker. And Phil gets spun. Nobody hits him. But then Wood comes up, hooks off the nose of Alex Gray, and then Gray makes more contact with Garrett Sydnor. That's the 3rd wreck that Garrett Sydnor's been involved in today. And there's Alex Gray going around for a spin. I don't think anyone coming in here is going to hit him. And there's Parker in the 31. I don't think he hit anyone or anything. Let's actually go back and see. I don't think he even hit the inside wall. That was almost kind of like the J Shelly wreck. Getting spun out, but really minimal contact. Right there, you see he's going to get spun around. Had a little contact with the front of his race car into the side of Austin LaPlante. But look at this. Close call for Alexander Rowe, as he just narrowly avoids. They're wrecking up there with Alex Gray and Garrett Sydnor. And Mason Wood there in the 27. But Phil Parker, his car is going to come to a stop down there towards the apron of turn 3. And I don't think he really got any damage. The thing that hurts him, though, is he lost a ton of positions on track. You see a lot of drivers going by, including a couple of playoff contenders in K Batson and Diego Yepes now will be restarting ahead of him. So even though it's the best of a spin that he could have where he really didn't wreck, it's obviously going to be a work in progress for him having to try to pick up spots here in the closing stages of this race. Well, I said earlier, I thought Cole Deaver's last Pizza X Series win was back in Season 3. Strike that, it was back in Season 2. Cole Deaver going to victory lane for the only time in his Pizza X Series career when he took the checkered flag at, believe it or not, another D-shaped mile-and-a-half racetrack, Charlotte Motor Speedway. And it was that win in a consistent season that got him into the Final Four to compete for the championship. He came up just 7 points short to the eventual champion, J Gilbert. So maybe not a surprise to see him running up front here at a D-shaped mile-and-a-half racetrack as he's looking for his first win in what would be over 3 seasons. Juan Garcia, though, he wants an automatic trip into the Final Four. He lines up second. N Guenther right there in third, looking for his second win of his rookie career. And then you've got Charles Jackson and Daniel Olson looking for their first wins of the season. J Gilbert lines up the second highest chase driver in 6th. Eli Bright right behind him in 7th. How about Sky Commons up there in 8th? Great run for him as you got J Shelly, another playoff contender in 9th, and Mark Davidson completes top 10. 4 chase drivers in the top 10. Where's the rest of the other 4? We already know that Flickinger's out of the race, so how about the other 3 that are still running? Got to go down to 19th before you find Diego Yepes. Then you go further down before you find K Batson restarting 25th, and Phil Parker, last car on the lead lap, in 29th. Green flag back in the air. We did have another driver out of the race after that wreck, that being the 0 of Alex Gray. So now 30 cars running, 29 of them on the lead lap. Juan Garcia, big run through turns 1 and 2. He's going to dive to the inside and try going for the lead down to turn 3. Easily makes the pass. And here comes the contingency on the bottom. Jackson, Olson, Gilbert. Deaver doesn't have a prayer. He's stuck on the high side and he's fading quickly. Now Juan Garcia goes into defensive mode as they start to widen out in this battle for second. Olson got a little loose in the center of the corner. Now is in a battle for third. Jackson scampers away into second. Now sets his sights on the Pepsi Max Ford. Sky Commons, what a run for him. Great run for the driver out of Smart Motorsports. He's now into the top 5, taking the 5th position from Deaver. He wants more. He wants to go to 3rd, bypassing both Olson and Gilbert for a spot on the podium. And correct me if I'm wrong, Sky Commons, was it Talladega or was it the race before that? I remember he had some kind of a miracle top 10. Yeah, it was at Talladega. He finished in the top 10 position, 10th place. and we hadn't talked about him all day, so that team's turning it around in the closing stages of the season. Meanwhile, up front, Charles Jackson trying to deny Juan Garcia a spot in the Final Four. He's going to try and go back to the race lead. And why is this important for Jackson? Not only is he trying to get his first win of the season, but he's also trying to make it an opportunity for both his teammates Elijah Gilbert and J Shelly to make it into the Final Four. If Juan Garcia wins this race, that's only 3 available spots left for drivers to get into the battle for the championship. If he can deny Juan Garcia a trip to victory lane, there's still 4 spots available to get into the Final Four to compete for the championship. And Jackson was really strong on the high side through 1 and 2. Garcia tried to make the move, couldn't do it. And look out for that 0-9 Commons. And where the heck did Austin LaPlante come from? He's now up to 4th. LaPlante, with a win earlier on this season at Dover, got eliminated from the playoffs after round 1. He's trying to get up here for a victory. Now Garcia goes back to the lead, or does he? Jackson battles back on the top side. Cole Deaver has had a strong car all day. He's there in 5th. Don't count him out. Still side by side for the lead, and LaPlante now is going to allow that inside line to move. Garcia to the point. LaPlante going to try and move to 2nd. Commons going to step low. He's going to go for 3rd. LaPlante now has thoughts for the race lead. Talk about another driver that's popped up here towards the front. Into the top 10, Diego Yepes. He was involved in our first caution just barely. Now he's popped up in the 8th position. LaPlante now to the bottom for the lead. This time by 3 laps to go. Who's going to win it? LaPlante led that lap. Here's Commons on the bottom. Carson gums up almost into the top 5 now in the 99. Players we hadn't talked about all race long now emerging in the closing stages. Commons now to the inside. A 2-time winner last year in the Coors Light Truck Series. Moved over here as a rookie for Smart Motorsports, trying to get his first career Pizza Hut X Series win. Side by side with LaPlante to the line. Commons leads the lap with 2 to go. Jackson there again. He's going to go 3 wide for the lead. Got tight there on the bottom, but he's going to clear the 0-9. He'll go back to the front. Oh, please tell me I'm not hearing an idling engine up ahead. That's Chloe Erickson in the 46. They might catch her here on the final lap. White flag displayed, this time by 1 lap to go for the Klondike Chevy Camaro. Brooke Allen's on pit road. Erickson's into turn 1. The leaders entering turn 1 now. Maybe we'll get lucky and Erickson won't play a factor. Commons is going to try to move to 2nd, trying to reel in Jackson by the time they get to 3 and 4. Erickson's into 3. The field will not catch her, I don't think. LaPlante goes low for 2nd. That might be all she wrote. Out of turn 4 for the final time. LaPlante trying to mount a charge. Not close enough. Charles Jackson, first win of the season, comes today at Texas. What a battle. What a race. Wow, that was fun to watch. Holy cow. It is the 3rd win of the season for Backmarker Motorsports. And Charles Jackson becomes the 15th different driver to go to victory lane this year. How about that? That was a fun race. My goodness, I can't wait for the Hershey's Cup race tomorrow if it's anything like this. Gracious. So Jackson, who was a playoff contender last year, didn't make it this year, but he'll at least finish out the 5th season with a 1 in the win column. And with Jackson winning, he and Matt McIntyre have both knocked out any chance of a driver locking themselves into the Final Four. Non-chasers have won the first 2 races of this, our 2nd round. Now we have to turn our eyes towards Rockingham, North Carolina, to basically see who's going to make it in on points unless we have one of our 8 competitors win that race. Jackson with the win, though, came into this race. Oh my goodness, where in the world was he? He was, if I can even find him, 16th in points, which is 4th highest of drivers that were not in the playoffs. So He's been getting some good finishes last couple of weeks and finally gets that win. LaPlante will have to settle for second. I don't know how many times I've said that about LaPlante, finishing second this year. Common with a great run, rookie of the race in third. Juan Garcia, he wanted it. He wanted to get into the Final Four, but he'll have to settle for fourth place. Great run, though, for a driver that struggled last time out at Talladega. N Guenther's going to bring it home in fifth. Rookies finishing 3 of the top 5 spots. Diego Yepes, what a comeback run for him. I think he's going to be the points leader of the 8 playoff drivers heading into Rockingham. Had a great run at Talladega, a great run here today at Texas. Carson Gunn brings it home in 7th. Cole Deaver back in 8th. Daniel Olson started on the pole, finished 9th. And Quentin Moore, nice run for him. We didn't talk about him today, and he'll finish in the top 10. Couple of drivers that we talked about near the beginning, they faded out of the top 10 but managed to finish top 15. Eli Bright finishes 11th, Elijah Gilbert in 12th, James Shelly in 14th. So we'll see where this situates those particular drivers. K Batson, Phil Parker, they got put in the back after getting involved in some late wrecks. That kind of hurt their chances of cracking the top 20. 22nd for Batson and 23rd for Parker, so we'll have to see where that situates those two particular drivers. And then, of course, the one driver that's really going to take a hit in the point stands, we'll have to see where he's situated heading into Rockingham. The guy that came in the points leader of the 8 championship competitors, Zach Flickinger, finishing out the day with a number of other retirees in the 41st position. We had 28 drivers finish on the lead lap of 30 drivers that finished. We saw Brooke Allen have to make a pit stop in the closing stages there with that 3 machine, so she and Chloe Erickson both finished off the lead lap. And you see all the rest of the drivers that finished out of the race, including a couple of former winners this season, Matt McIntyre, Rob Evans, Heather Gallant, and Patrick Curtis. So a tough break for them, but we're going to have to see how this situates our points heading into Rockingham. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like. I know I did. Be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We've shown you full video results. These are your rookie point standings, your overall point standings, and your updated playoff points. And this is what it looks like heading into our final elimination race next week at Rockingham, North Carolina, where we will determine 4 drivers that will remain to battle for the championship at the season finale at Homestead. If you enjoyed this race, you're going to want to tune in for tomorrow's Hershey's Cup Series race. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to be the next on tap, and then we're going to be heading next weekend for Trucks, Pizza Hut X Series, and Hershey's Cup Series action from Rockingham. All 3 series will be determining their final 4 before championship weekend for all 3 series at Homestead. We're getting closer and closer to determining the champion, and it's getting more and more exciting as we draw towards a close of each respective season. Till then, I've been Seth Cole. You've been watching a production of the NNSCRA, Offline Racing at its best.